Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Season 2 premiere, I think is what we're going to call this little short episode here, of Haunted America. We want to thank you guys so much for all the support and the streams and the continued listening of this podcast while we have been off during the summer and not really posting any new content or episodes. Without further ado, we're just going to hop into talking about what's been going on, what we have coming up, some of the future episodes we're going to be putting out, maybe some special guests. So thank you guys for joining us. We'll get into it in a minute. Alrighty guys, welcome back to a little teaser behind the scenes episode of Haunted America before the first actual episode comes out. Before we get talking about everything, I have to mention today's sponsor, and that sponsor is Western New York Collectibles Inc. They specialize in all things collectible, and they are your one-stop shop for everything from action figures, video games, t-shirts, jerseys, and much, much more. Pretty much everything vintage. Check the description below for a link to their eBay page, and check that next collectible off your list. Without further ado, I want to introduce my co-host, Jesse.
How's it going, everybody? Thanks for coming back for Season 2. Really excited you guys are sticking around with us. Hope to bring you some really interesting shows coming up. We got a lot of things going on, a lot of things coming down the pike, and we're really excited about it.
And we're going to talk about a few of those things right now, but I really quick just have to say thank you to everybody listening again. We got that little like unwrapped thing that you guys see on Spotify, or people post from Spotify all the time. And this podcast was streamed in 18 different countries.
18 countries, what?
18 different countries. When we started this thing, we did not think that this podcast would be listened to in 18 different countries. That is absolutely insane. So thank you from the bottom of both of our hearts.
So shout out to the world.
Shout out to the world for listening to us talk about haunted locations throughout America. Jesse, you want to get into the news that we learned today?
Okay. So Dalton decided he needed to make a trip to a pawn shop just to try to appraise something. And the owners there happened to just mention out of the blue, not because we asked or anything, just said that the owner had recently died and that he haunts the hell out of that place. Well, she said the magic word, and Dalton bit right into that. And
got me pretty quick.
as it would either of us, of course. And they said they have lots of activity going on in this place. They have video, things getting knocked over. What she said was that so this pawn shop, it's been there for a while, and it used to be just pawn and silver. And since the new owners have taken over, they started selling antiques also. And apparently the original owners not very happy that they added the antiques to their inventory.
Not very happy at all. And so it's not a very big store, but when you walk in, you get a certain energy about the place. And I'm gonna put that off towards, they have things that the previous owner wore, like they have his hat inside the store still. So that's something that's still connecting with that energy from that previous owner. And also they were really good friends with the previous owner. They had a family, like brother sister type relationship with the previous owner. And I haven't told Jesse yet, because when we go there and actually investigate this place, I want his first reaction and see where the energy draws him inside this store. But there is one spot that definitely has more energy than the rest.
Okay.
And as he said previously, yeah, this the new owners and the previously passed on owner, um she was trying to get him, his name is James, the previous owner. Um she was trying to get James to sell these, antiques, stuff besides just gold and silver, and he wouldn't bite on it, for nothing. And now that she runs the store, like Jesse said, she sells all this stuff. So he'll be going around, from what I gathered from her, he'll be going around and he'll knock this stuff over and just causing a ruckus in the place. Pretty much, just messing around with her, letting her know that he doesn't really approve of this stuff. Another story that she told me is that the previous owner, James, his son and his grandson will come into the store, and his grandson loves the place, right? And that's not a normal spot you would think a 3-year-old child would like to hang out in, a bunch of antiques, ceramics, stuff like that. And I told her more than likely, when they come in, he's making his presence feel really warm and welcoming to his grandson. He didn't get to spend a whole lot of time with his grandson. I think his grandson was a year old and he's now 3. Was a year old when he passed. So when his grandson comes into the store, he's putting that energy out, making his grandson feel warm and welcome, and just, letting him know that he's still there. And another thing she told me was that she had a medium come into the shop to try to sell something. And the medium, walked up to her and was like, "Hey, mind if I tell you something? I'm a medium, and I felt a presence over in this part of the store." So obviously she said, "Yeah, go ahead, tell me." And what the medium told her was that there was a man who felt like a previous owner in the part of the store, but he had a dark energy attached to part of his body that she could see. So that's something that I really want to check out. And, with all the equipment we have, I want to try to get an answer from James here and see if he can, tell us what's going on. If, it's not necessarily maybe him causing the ruckus in the store, but maybe it's that dark energy that medium told the now owners about.
I wonder if we can maybe get to the bottom also, because you think that certain locations are haunted, and that's the location. Well, the place they're in now is not the same place they were in before.
I don't think I mentioned that, did I?
I don't think you did.
So, really quick, this place is in a plaza, and it's basically, imagine a horseshoe, a big U shape, and throughout that U shape, there's probably 10, 15 little different storefronts, and they moved from one side of the horseshoe to the other side. So, like Jesse was just saying, it's not the same store.
So it might be in the same technically building, but it's not in the same store. But what you said is that they have his hat and a couple other personal items.
I know where you're going. I brought this up to already.
Yeah, so maybe he's attached to that, but he could be attached to that. But you also said that he was really good friends with the family, so he could be attached to the family also.
Yep, I brought that up to them and said, you keeping all of this stuff of his from when he was alive in this store. Spirits don't necessarily, haunt one location. They can be attached to different objects. They can be attached to people, which is the same kind of thing I told her about that, possible dark energy, is that these dark energies, they just attach themselves on to different things. You could have an item in here that has that dark energy attached to it, and maybe that energy itself isn't attached to him, but more like attached to something in the store. And that just the way it was presented to that medium was, hey, I'm a bright light in here, I'm a good spirit, but there's something dark here that's attaching itself to, something in the store, something along those lines.
Yeah.
So that's something I want to check out. and try to get down to the bottom of. And we have full permission from the now owners to go in there and investigate this place. And that's just wonderful. I thought we should share that with you guys because that just came out of nowhere.
And we will also be the first team to ever investigate this place, obviously, because nobody else has heard about this before. This just happened out of the blue. She just happened to say the magic word haunted to us, and now we're investigating.
We got into an hour-long conversation about ghosts, about the podcast, about doing an investigation. So this is a really good thing to put out there for, it's more than just the standard old crickety looking house on the side of the road down some back road or something like that you pass by, right?
Right.
That can be haunted, anywhere.
This is an open, operating, active building where people are coming in and out of every day. It's not just some abandoned place. This is,
This is their open standard business hours.
Apparently
customers coming in and out like crazy.
Apparently it's affecting them personally because it's throwing their stuff around.
But I didn't get a feeling of like a really bad energy in there, but you could feel the energy, and that's another misconception too that I explained to her, is that just because you get a rush of cold, right, and you get that the standard, your hair stands up on your arms and stuff like that, you get the chills, that doesn't mean that there's an evil presence there.
No.
That just means that whatever spirit or entity is there is projecting that energy towards you, so that way you feel that something is there. That doesn't mean that it's evil or whatever. That also doesn't mean that it's good.
It's just your body's natural reaction to running into the energy it's running into.
Exactly. So that will be coming real soon. Little video episode probably on YouTube, and also doing a podcast recap with whatever evidence that we gather up.
Yes, our investigations are going to be video.
So we're going to be doing that here pretty soon. So follow, like, whatever you got to do. Stay tuned if that's something that interests you, or if you're just interested in hearing, our normal podcast layout. We got more episodes coming up as well, and let's get into that. The first actual episode of Haunted America Season 2 is going to be in South Carolina. And that episode will be posted a day or two after this little talk behind the scenes episode comes out. And then from there, we have hopefully, we're going to have more standard episodes, but we also are going to have interviews with owners of haunted locations. We're going to start off in our area. So I'm just going to go ahead and say the two people. We have Mr. Ed Bowden. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing his last name right.
Yep.
And Brooke Wagatha. I think I'm pronouncing her last name right as well.
Yeah.
I really hope so.
Yeah.
Ed is the owner of Sweet Home Estates, kind of out by like Cuba, New York.
It's Sweet Home Estate 1822 on Facebook.
Yeah. And then Brooke is the owner of the Wildwood Sanatorium, or I think it's the Wildwood Restoration Project as well. Look up either of those on Facebook, and that location is in Salamanca, New York. And I grew up 15 minutes down the road from Salamanca, so that one is really close to home for me, so that's going to be pretty cool. But we will get those episodes out as quickly as possible as well. We're just, I think Ed is getting over being sick right now, and he's dealing with a lot.
Oh, boy.
At Sweet Home. Sweet Home is a very active, crazy location.
Man, it is very active. I've been watching his Facebook daily, and there's stuff going on every single day, every single night with that guy. That poor guy, man. He can't live in that place by himself in any kind of peace. They do not want him there.
At the time of this recording, it is December 5th, 2023. And people are putting up Christmas stuff, and his spirits do not like the Christmas tree for some reason.
No, they do not.
They are knocking over the Christmas tree every chance that they get. There's just a lot going on at that house. Those spirits are very active, and are we allowed to hold on? I'm gonna mute our mics really quick. Okay, well, we're just gonna go ahead and say it here. Ed's location, Sweet Home Estates, is going to be featured in the new season. I believe it's season 4, right?
Yeah.
Of Nick Groff's Deathwalker. I'm pretty sure that season has not come out yet.
No, it hasn't come out yet.
So while we're on the topic of Deathwalker, let me finish my thought here. Yeah, so Ed's place is going to be featured on Deathwalker, and that episode we got to view early at Nick's season 4 premiere of Deathwalker at the Rapids Theater in Niagara Falls. So you want to talk a little bit about that?
That was awesome. Nick's a really fun guy, and we got first looks at this episode, and actually got to meet Ed and talk to him about what's going on there.
Yeah, that's where we first ran into him.
Yeah. I don't know, man. They got so many dolls in rooms and stuff, and I mean Ouija boards all over that place.
And this will be, talking about Ed's place. This will all be stuff that we talked to him about in the interview. So
I mean, I could go on and on about Sweet Home at this point. Ed has put out a challenge.
Oh boy.
Where he's challenging anybody to come and stay at Sweet Home alone. No phones, no TVs, no Wi-Fi, no nothing. To stay there for a week and see if he can last. And, surprise, surprise. Your boy here has plans to go and do this challenge. And
that's going to be interesting.
Man, like I said, the more I watch his Facebook page and the more I see what's going on, I'm like, oh my God, what am I getting myself into? I don't know that I could be scared out of a place, and I probably shouldn't say that because just by saying that, something's gonna get me.
You're putting that energy out into the world.
But I mean, honestly, to me, the hardest part about the whole thing is no phone, no TV for a week, man. Yeah,
that's. Honestly, I haven't said it yet, but I don't think you're going to last the whole week. The way the spirits at Sweet Home are and the way they've been acting lately to Ed.
Yeah. They're not going to like me.
You're not going to last a whole week. Something's going to end up happening and you're just going to have to leave.
I mean, look, I don't think I'm Mr. Tough Guy or anything, but I just can't think if it's a challenge and I'm doing this for, the reason and for the for the victory of saying, yeah, I made it through the week. I don't know, man, you're going to really have to try hard to get me out of that house.
We'll put it this way. Tessa, Nick Groff's wife, said that she wanted to leave that place, right? Because of upstairs. And this is more that we're going to talk about with Ed.
Yeah.
What's the place she said? Hinsdale House.
Yeah.
Is the place that she said she's never going to return to.
Oh, that's right. She's never going back to Hinsdale.
And speaking of Hinsdale,
we'll be going there too.
We will be going there too really freaking soon. Hopefully, we got to make this work.
Yeah.
I want to do like a TikTok or an Instagram live from there. So go ahead and follow us on our TikTok or Instagram at Haunted America Podcast. Yeah, I really want to get to Hinsdale. After Tessa said that, that's someplace that she's never going to return to. And the fact that I myself have never been to Hinsdale, but you have. You've seen Hinsdale. You've been there a couple times.
Yeah, we were there. And I mean, we spent I think two nights and 3 days there. And it's not to say that I don't think there's anything dark there. It is, but it surprised me when Tessa was so put off,
so adamant about never returning.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of activity there, but there is some dark stuff there. But again, nothing that I experienced would make me like, run away, run screaming for the hills.
But stuff has changed. You haven't been to Hinsdale in how long now? It's
Well,
been a while.
I haven't been there since before they started restoring it. So there's probably a whole lot more that they kicked up once they started restoring it.
Yeah, stirring
So
stuff up.
Yeah. So
Speaking
who
of-
knows?
Speaking of like restoring the place, I found it funny, and we had a little moment. Excuse me. We had a little moment about it too at Nick's season premiere at Deathwalker. They were selling pieces of the siding from Hinsdale House.
Yep.
How crazy is that? That a more notable haunted location, you can take home a physical piece of that haunted location.
Yeah.
Like, think about it. If like the Whaley House, or like these big penitentiaries, if you could buy a piece of that haunted location and bring it home, and who knows, maybe bring home an entity or something like that. That's crazy. That's something me personally I wouldn't do, but I know there are crazy people out there that would do it, and there were people at his season premiere doing it.
Oh yeah.
And that's just
I saw that. I'm
too
like,
much for me.
nope, not buying that.
like I don't even mess with Ouija boards.
No.
I made a promise to my grandfather before he passed away that I would never touch a Ouija board. And I still to this day, since his passing, he passed away 2014. Grandpa Brian passed away.
Yeah.
And I still to this day have yet to touch a Ouija board, even though Nick at his season 3 premiere was selling these really freaking cool designed Ouija boards, and I really wanted one, but I'm
They were
just not
beautiful.
going there. They were really nice.
They were really nice.
He had somebody
almost
local
bought
make one.
too.
I just refuse to have something like that around me just because of the portals it can open. I know you can be safe with it. It's a big controversy in the paranormal world.
We have enough in the spirit world going on with us. We don't need to invoke more.
So it's been crazy. Downstairs, I've been seeing stuff like crazy, just out of the corner of my eye, seeing stuff go floating by, stuff like that. And
Here,
in this house.
yeah. I
Which
have
is
two.
insane.
I have two upstairs. My uncle passed away just
A few days ago.
just a few days ago, and it's funny because it was on the third day. I saw a shadow person in my hallway. Not a shadow person. I don't want to call it a shadow person, but it was a It was a black shadow in the form of a person. Saw it in my hallway, and I also caught a glimpse of movement out of the corner of my eye twice. And I haven't been seeing things up here upstairs at all. And it's just interesting timing on the third day after he passed that I started seeing it.
And speaking of him passing, when I called your mom to tell her, or to, give my condolences and stuff like that, I mentioned to you too that immediately when I heard the news and I started thinking about him and just trying to like channel some of his energy, I felt like just a little chest pain. And what did your mom end up telling me about him ending up having a little more problems than we thought with
Yeah.
anxiety and stuff like that?
Yep.
And
They think it was a heart attack.
they think it was a heart attack in the middle of the night while he was sleeping.
Yeah.
So, his energy is definitely around right now, just after his passing. So yeah, maybe that'll be like a short little episode we do too, trying to just communicate with passed on loved ones, not necessarily even just him, but let me know if you guys want to see something like that as well, kind of like our own personal investigation type proof of the paranormal,
Sure.
I guess, whatever you want to call it. Let's get back to Ed's place. Do you remember what I told you the day after we saw the season premiere? And I told you I had a dream about going to Sweet Home.
Yeah.
Do you remember what I said?
No.
So eventually when this episode comes out with Ed's house, you guys are going to see a doll upstairs. And this is the doll that really messed Tessa up. She did not like this doll at all. So the day after seeing this premiere, I was sleeping and I had a very, very vivid dream of sitting in a chair in front of this doll. And I believe in the dream was me, Jesse, and a few other people. I don't know who they were or whatever. It was just a dream. But I remember vividly talking and provoking the spirit that's in this doll. And I remember trying to get up out of the chair, and I couldn't move an inch. I couldn't move at all. So that, when I woke up, you wake up quickly in those, like, the hot sweats or whatever you want to call it. You feel like it's like almost like if you're dying in your dream, right? You wake up like right before you hit the ground if you're falling or something like that, right? It was kind of like that, where I was dreaming about, provoking that spirit that's inside that doll and trying to get up out of a chair, and I couldn't. And a minute or two of me yelling at this spirit, I randomly woke up. And I remember telling Jesse about it as soon as I could. And it's got me honestly nervous to go to this place, to ever step foot inside of Sweet Home Estates. So that's why Jesse will be doing this little challenge thing that Ed has by himself.
Yeah, that's exactly. And I'm going to stand right in front of that doll. Now, all right, Ed has said don't provoke, so I'm not going to provoke. But I'm going to precariously be, in the vicinity of things that happen. I'm not going to back down from nothing. We're going to see what's going to happen. I won't provoke because I don't want nothing following me home or nothing like that. But I'm going to do everything I can to try to get as much evidence as possible.
And I still don't think he's going to last the full week.
We'll see, buddy. We'll see about that.
Is there anything else you want to touch on? I think we talked a little bit about it, but we do have a TikTok and an Instagram, and we have a Facebook page as well for this podcast, Haunted America Podcast. I believe on all platforms it is TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. And if you guys have any questions for us that you would like to have answered at the end of episodes, go ahead and message us on those platforms, or you can email us at hauntedamericapodcast@gmail.com. We're going to try something new where, like, at the end of episodes, we answer some, like, fan questions type thing. So, like, if you want to ask us, where the scariest place we've been is, if you want advice on something, we're not the best people to ask for advice, but we can do our best.
Whatever your haunting questions about Haunted America, go ahead. Don't send whatever you want. We'll answer them.
And we're gonna be doing like little shorts of these places that we're investigating and posting them on the TikTok and Instagram. So and maybe even YouTube too. Forgot about that. If you're listening on a podcast streaming site and you don't know yet, we also post our full episodes to YouTube, and that is also where we will be posting our full investigation episodes when we go and investigate some places. So there's that. I lost my train of thought. What else was I going to say?
Keep that notification. Keep that notification bell ready.
If you guys if you are the owner of a haunted location that you would like to have featured on the episode, send us that information on the previously noted designation places for you to send us that information. Like I said, email, TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook. And we can either get information from you and talk about it in our normal podcast format, or if you would like, you can come on the episode and talk with us about it. And we can have a one-on-one conversation about your haunted location and get some publicity out there for it. And who knows, maybe we can even travel to this haunted location if you are so willing to allow us to, and we can investigate it for ourselves. You got anything else you want to add to this little behind the scenes precursor to season 2?
I don't know. I think we kind of covered everything.
Do we have anything else coming up that I can think of? We're doing this off the rip, guys. We didn't really plan for this little episode that much. So.
You don't think they can tell we didn't write this one out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we've covered it.
I think that's about it.
Alrighty, guys. Thank you very much.
We look forward to hearing all your questions, and remember, this is the Now Worldwide.
Yeah, that's still crazy. Thank you guys again for all that. We did not expect for season 1. I think we posted a total of 9 actual episodes and 1 little tiny like minute and a half audio clip of like kind of like what we're doing now, but on a very, very, very shorter term. So 10 total little things, and we have over like 30,000 something people listening, 18 different countries, and that's just insane. So thank you guys.
So everybody,
very much for that.
Everybody, all those people, tell your friends. If you're hearing this, tell your friends. Send the link to somebody, something. Spread this.
Alrighty, guys, stay tuned. The first episode coming out of season 2, the official premiere, will be a South Carolina episode. Are we going to be talking about your town? Stay tuned. Thank you for joining us on this precursor episode of
Haunted America.